Logan Webb gets an A-plus for his effort on Sunday, doesn't he? A complete game shutout. You're going to have to explain to your children what those are. You see them so rarely these days in baseball. Logan Webb overall, though, look, it's a B- first half for Logan Webb. He is trending up after a terrible start to the season. Logan was just a little bit of a victim of his own designs of just not being in that strike zone early. He is absolutely, though, starting to turn into the player that the Giants hoped he would be, that real ace of the staff. I like Logan Webb, and he just pitched maybe his best game of the year. Granted, it was against the Colorado Rockies. If the Giants are going to make noise in the second half, though, Logan Webb needs like 2-3 more of those in the second half. He's really got to go ahead. And if the Giants are going to be not just a team that flirts with a wild card, but a team that maybe flirts with winning its own division, and a team that keeps on taking the Dodgers and the Padres and eventually the Diamondbacks and keeping them at bay, it's going to be because Logan Webb has a monster second half. He has to be the anchor of that pitching staff, which its bullpen is really solid. And we all know who the closer is. He's at the All-Star game. So, interesting. The Giants' first half itself. And again, I'm grading harshly here. And my harsh grade for the Giants' first half still has them coming out a B+. Considering that everyone thought that they were going to be a failure this year. I mean, I didn't. You can go back. You can check the tapes from former radio shows. I was the first one to say, as bad as that offseason was, not landing Aaron Judge, the Carlos Correa fiasco, the signings that really weren't ballyhooed to be much of anything, Conforto, Haniger, so on and so forth. I thought it was going to be decent. I thought they were going to be decent. And you know what? When you're 8 games above 500 at the All-Star break, you're more than decent. You really are. There are 2 other things other than their own decent play breaking their way. Number 1, the Padres were kind of a first half mess. And number 2, the kids that they brought up, which they were either going to sink or swim with, they've swam with them. They didn't sink with them. The youth movement is the second thing that's really kind of breaking the Giants' way in the first half. There's no doubt about it. Again, 8 games over 500. The bats have certainly cooled off in the week or 2 before the All-Star break here, but everyone goes through a less than glorious 10, 12, 15 game stretch in a Major League Baseball season. I've always said you want to get that stretch out of your way before the All-Star break, not after it, when the price of poker feels like it goes up, because now all of a sudden games remaining starts becoming a blip on the radar. So the Giants, they can hit a little. They've got a really good bullpen. And when they get a decent start, they're a tough team to beat. They're not nearly the defensive adventure that it felt like they were nearly every game last year. So they've improved in that department greatly. And because of it, like, Farhan can't put the for sale sign up on that lawn. He can't. He can't do that to that clubhouse. You want to talk about losing a clubhouse full of guys? Yeah, Farhan, he owes it to the guys in that dugout to make a move before the deadline to make this team better.